Hello everyone, this video is about the novel coronavirus. I just want to say that this is maybe a lot more serious than a lot of people are realizing yet. I want to show you this graph. The red lines are SARS. Over here we have infections over time. And here is the novel coronavirus. And as you can see, it's a highly exponential graph. This is why there are a dozen cities in lockdown in China. I read on Reddit here, on the coronavirus subreddit, that it looks like they might be shutting down Shanghai soon. But I can't confirm that. But you can get more information on this subreddit. I would recommend it. Based on the rate of growth here. Okay, we've got a 2-week incubation period with this virus. For SARS, it was 2 to 7 days. Also, it can be infectious during the incubation period, including with no symptoms. So you're going to have people who are spreading this virus without knowing that they have it, without even having symptoms. That can be a problem, obviously. So SARS was a more severe virus. The mortality rate was between roughly 10 to 15%, depending on estimates. So with this one, I don't think we're sure about the mortality rate yet for novel coronavirus, but I think it is closer to 4%. The problem is that the being less severe may mean that it spreads much more rapidly. If this chart is accurate, then that's definitely true. So we had better hope that we contain it. Even if we get a vaccine soon, I'm worried because we can't vaccine everyone. This thing, I'm pretty worried that they're not going to be able to contain this. So based on the 2-week incubation period, most of these, we're almost at 5,000 here. And let's see, is it this one? There's this website. Let's see, I think it's this one. No, this one, no. There's one of these websites where you can track live the numbers. I'll try to find it. It's in here somewhere. Resources, and okay, so the WuhanVirus.com gives a real-time data. Problem is, I wish they'd say when it was updated. With this other website, it says last update here. So I guess the easiest thing to do is go to the coronavirus subreddit, and you can find the resources here. So we're almost to 5,000 infected as the official number. Now, I don't know, this Shanghai one post here was saying, it says, my auntie came down with a fever a few days ago, and it took over 8 hours to see a doctor for a few minutes. The doctors refused to test her for the virus and only advised her to self-isolate at home. Now, part of this may be that some people are going to have normal flu, etc. So it might be better that most people are staying at home rather than overrunning the hospitals. That's unfortunate because obviously treatment can help with the pneumonia and stuff like that. So it's a complicated situation, but it also, they're saying that they're sending them home to keep the official counts low on infected and death toll. So I don't know, it's speculation there, but this, based on the 2-week incubation period, most of these were infected 2 weeks ago. So based on the pace of this virus, how many people are in the incubation period now? Well, I would say probably maybe closer to 100,000 people, because you have to look at where these numbers are going to be in 2 weeks. And I think in 1 to 2 weeks, we're going to see 100,000 infected here, based on the growth rate. I've been paying attention to the news. I look at news reports and it's crazy because it doubles. The numbers double every few days, maybe even faster. It might even be every 2 days or even every day and a half or so. I'm not sure exactly, but it's doubling rapidly, and it's not slowing down either. So this is a serious emergency. Personally, I just moved to Korea, but I'm leaving Korea tomorrow because I want to get out before things, if it becomes too dangerous to travel, that's going to be a problem. So I want to get out before that might happen, because I think, like I said, I think in a week or two you're going to see this number at 100,000 infected, and then I think you'd be. It's pretty clear that you'd think twice about traveling. So if you can, I would say already avoid traveling, because I think there are roughly 100,000 people probably in the incubation period right now, possibly infectious, possibly traveling. So I don't want to be fear mongering or something, but I'm just looking at the numbers and trying to figure out what's going on. So what else? I think that it would be safe to maybe, hope if we can contain this thing, then we'll be lucky, and that would be great. If we can't contain it, you're going to want emergency supplies, masks, and so on. I would start buying those now because it's good to have anyway, in case of a disaster, earthquake, tornado, hurricane, fire, whatever, or another outbreak. But I would start preparing now, because you don't want to wait until everyone's panicking and you can't buy the things you need anymore. Also, it's better to send a signal to the markets early, so that when they see masks and so on, the prices the sales going through the roof, they will start borrowing from the bank and start investing capital and start churning out more products. So it's better to send that market signal sooner. So don't feel guilty about going out there and buying a bunch of supplies, because you are going to. I think it will help at this point. So that's what I'd say. I'd say it's going to be safer here to start preparing for this. I also want to, you think I'm maybe too early on this stuff, but this is a timeline that someone said. So I'm pretty sure this is a Chinese person. On the 18th, I went back to Wuhan. At the time, the virus isn't on the consciousness of anybody, so nobody's worried about it. Something people talk about, but they didn't worry about it. The 19th, my parents and I went out. I'm going to paraphrase here, but they saw some stuff on social media. They were a little worried. Some information about 3 families and so on. The official death count is very low, so weren't too worried, but this individual started to get nervous and went to buy masks. I need to find out what this is about. I don't even know. The N95 3CT. I think that's what I went out and bought a bunch right now, and I'm guessing that's what I got because they're expensive. So I got them and asked my parents to wear them. My dad told me I'm being neurotic. This was the evening of the 19th. So the 20th and the 21st, this is just 2 more days later, and this individual's getting a lot more worried that it could be a crisis. Parents are making fun of them for overreacting. Very same night, we all got more news from relatives, notably one relative who's very well connected, saying that in Hankou, one compound had as many as 20 cases. Another text said that the city would be sealed when they estimated 5,000 cases. At the time, it was 3,000 cases. So they got early warning. On the night of the 21st is when I decided to leave Wuhan. I left on the 22nd, and on the 23rd, they sealed the city. So 19th, the 18th, barely anyone's talking about it. 19th to 21st, the parents are laughing at them for preparing. And 2 days after that, the city is sealed. So that's because of the enormous growth rate we're seeing. And you've probably seen in the news that they're scrambling to build a bunch of hospitals. First it was 2 hospitals. Now, latest I saw is 4 hospitals in a matter of days, right? That's because of the enormous growth rate here of the infections. That's why I'm taking action early here, because I think people. It is really hard to wrap one's mind around this kind of exponential growth. This is why it went from being a joke to being the city sealed off in a few days. And also maybe because the Chinese government is downplaying what's going on. Now, I do want to mention, I saw one website that talked about preliminary results of a successful treatment. However, I've been researching and found nothing else about that. So I don't know. People are also talking about eye goggles. I think a lot of medical staff got sick when they were only wearing masks. So, that's how crazy this stuff is. Anyway, I'm sorry to make this video. To be honest, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, and I'm not the fearmonger type. I'm usually the one calming people down, but like I said, these numbers are kind of terrifying. This is to be taken, I think, very, very seriously. I mean, this was SARS, and it's much, much faster than SARS here. So think about taking precautions. Think about avoiding air travel, canceling trips, and so on. You don't want to get stuck somewhere. There were a lot of people completely taken off guard by the locking down of the city of Wuhan, including, I think, Chinese people. If you weren't paying attention to the news and so on, it really caught a lot of people off guard that had no idea that was going to happen. So don't take this stuff lightly. Take it seriously. Remain calm. Even people get it. People who get it, the mortality rate is around 4%. So, most likely survive. But I suggest to start thinking about it and keep an eye on it, and maybe take some precautions. Maybe start buying some supplies before ever there's a rush to do so. That's my 2 cents. So again, I'm sorry to I'm not doing this to try to get views or something. I've been becoming extremely concerned over the last few days here, and I just think this information needs to be shared. So thank you, and take care, and pray that this can be contained. So, or a vaccine will come out soon. So, okay, take care, everybody.